What is up, everyone? Abstract back again with my next walkthrough on YouTube. Today we're going to be playing a demo for a game called The Executioner that's on itch.io. It's a browser-based game, from what I assume. Pretty much, I'm going to go ahead and read out the synoptic for the demo, so you guys can know what to expect. Let's see. Tempt your inner demons in this psychological horror RPG where you play as a royal executioner on his endeavor to stay sane. Drowning or beating, short rope or long? Do you satisfy the crowd's thirst for cruelty or grant a merciful death to the man you're not even sure is guilty? A game about the price we pay both for cruelty and for mercy, about how much you're willing to sacrifice to get the truth or to satisfy a bloodthirsty crowd and your exalted employer. It is a quest for self-discovery. This game asks, do you know who you are, how far you are willing to go, and do you want to live this way? So, it says best working in full screen mode, so let's get into it. Let's go to full screen. Let's get into it. Alright. Dialogue. By our estimation, one playthrough equals 60 minutes or slightly more. The game is strictly 18 plus, so please remove your screen anyone who will prevent you from enjoying the game. Remember, every choice matters and blood must be spilled. If you want already finished game and would like to fill feedback form, you can find it here too. Okay, let's... Glossaries under construction. Case, father. Your father was accused of treason. Okay. Character. Theodore Grimm. Interesting name. These are our stats, I'm presuming. Inventory, nothing. Here's the prologue, guys. You always know if people are lying or telling the truth. Some of this talent is due to your inborn ability, heightened senses, which was enhanced by your father's training. Your father always said, it is important to listen, not to hear. Observe the interlocutor, examine the face, don't trust your words, and use all of your senses at once. Only then you will understand if someone is lying to you or not. They used your. He has taught you that most of the people do not perceive the surroundings as clearly as you do, which is why their senses are limited. During your training, you had to endure many trials by which your father developed your hereditary ability. You still have nightmares of one of the incidents from your childhood. You were about 10 years old. Your father came home late. He was escorted by 2 royal guards who stayed to wait outside. Your father was grim as he knelt before you, placing his hands on your shoulders. Words cannot describe the fear and despair you have felt in the moment he said, I am guilty for treason. The court will be held today. King has only given me enough time to say goodbye. I am leaving you alone. The irony of that situation has caught up to you today. When father's assistant ran into your house and while catching his breath hoarsely said, your father is being accused of treason. The trial has already started. Listening to your heightened pulse, you have realized that you don't feel any bitterness on your tongue. Meaning it's true. Added title, Born Executioner. Through the rushing tears, you suddenly felt a weird taste of non-ripe nuts or bitter berries and clearly realized that your father is lying. What? Well, if it's true here... Okay, let's just go to the trial. You do not remember your mindless run to the castle. Finally, you and your father's assistants are standing in front of the royal course entrance. Guards at the doors do not let you get inside. Though the gate closed, you can hear voices merging on monotonous mumbling, which is rarely interrupted by indignant shouts. Give me 1 second, I turn up the volume here, guys. Alright, I had to turn up some of the game volume. Assistant is breathing heavily while leaning on the wall. The run costed him, and you suddenly notice his decrepitude. You don't know his exact age, but now he seems as an ancient man. I feel like our father's more important, but we wouldn't have even known he had his case without the assistant, so let's go grab the water. Got an assistant relationship, +1. He grabs the water you brought him and drinks loudly, not saying any words of gratitude. You greedily listen to the sounds coming from the courtrooms, but everything is already quiet. Do you want to be royal executioner? The question surprised you. Assistant had finished drinking water and is standing nearby, fixedly observing your reaction. He doesn't have your gift, but you can feel that your answer is very important to him. Of course, this family is still carrying on. It's too early to think about that. The sentence hasn't been announced yet. And no, I don't want to spend my life torturing people. I don't want to kill my own father because that's kind of fucked up. Let's do this one. It seems that assistant has already buried your father in his thoughts. I don't know. You finally say under your persistent stare of the old man. It's too old to talk about it. Maybe the trial. You stop talking not to jinx it. Yes, you do understand that someday you will become the royal executioner. Then people will bow before you with fear and draw the protecting signs behind your back. But what is happening now resembles nightmare too much. You bite inside of your cheek to make sure it is not a dream, and pain assures you that it is not. Well, says the assistant without any emotion after you do not respond. Think about it, kid. You will have to make the choice earlier or later. Trial is ended. Sounds of trumpets alert everyone that the trial is over a moment before the doors open. Crowds of guards, noble courtiers, and royal officials had spilled from the courtroom where just destiny of your father was decided moments ago. The royal herald, portentously walking through past you, the room with purple carpets leading to the balcony on, from where the important royal orders are announced to the public and announces the verdict. The royal executioner has been convicted of treason. Execution will be held tomorrow at noon. Ooh. Colorful clothing of servants are flittering in kaleidoscopic manner within the light of endless candles, but you feel like the room was being shrouded in darkness. You extend your neck, trying to find your father, but your efforts are in vain. The phrase of the assistants pulls you out of your stupor. Execution, yes, but who will be the executioner this time? You remember what your father told you in the past. Convicts are escorted from the courtroom from a separate door, which leads directly to the royal prison. Alright, let's go to the prison. Alright, before I read this, I want to look at our experience. It does not look... Natural born executioner, you can discern truth from lies and see deeper than other people. Okay. I don't know what this is. I think that's like my health. Can I... Okay. You are nervously standing near the prison entrance trying to figure out how to get inside. By the dawn comes, you exhaust yourself thinking that you made a mistake learning such respect to the crown from your father. If you weren't so frightened to break the law, you could easily sneak into the prison and free your father before any of the guards could understand a thing. When the dawn comes, a crowd of onlookers surround the prison. Guards shout to repel the most curious ones from the gate, but suddenly the crowd roars and closes around the prison entrance. The convicted executioner is being escorted outside. You make your way through the crowd and catch a sight of your father, who is strangely stooped, haggard, as he has lost half of his weight in one day. Two guards push you to the side with the shafts of their spear. Son of a traitor, contemptuously says one of them. Move away and don't interfere with the royal justice, or you will join your father on scaffold. Not being able to stop on time, you make a step forward and the guards back off. You suddenly realize that they are scared, even if you are unarmed. Your huge frame and strong arms from the distance look even more impressive. Guards are afraid for a reason. You could try to rescue your father. However, assaulting the royal guard could lead to dire consequences. The most likely outcome is you being executed with your father. But even ending up in prison frightens you. Throughout the history of your kingdom, not too many people were able to return home after imprisonment and not end up on scaffold. In present time, the instigator aroused like to shout that the current king is simply a bloodthirsty killer. But your father told you that it has always been this way. Your father negatively shakes his head behind the guards and looks aside again. He obviously doesn't want you to risk everything for him. Tough choice, man. Tough choice. Like, I need to save my father, but there has to be another way. So I'm gonna take a step back. The world is bouncing like jelly, getting ready to engulf you. Gritting your teeth, you bounce off from the guards. You catch a sight of one of the guards and do not notice any anger at him, only alertness. In the last moment, your father lifts his head. His eyes are of a madman. Son, he says quietly and distinctly, listen to me. I want you to take the axe. He purses his lips into a tight line as if he is afraid to say too much. Guards escort him past you. Crowd squeamishly flows around you, following the guard's footsteps. You were still standing next to the prison gates when the young guardsman walks out of them. He waves at you, signaling to follow him, and hurries into a side street on the side of the road. The bitter metallic flavor on your tongue makes you realize he is lying. Okay, so my dad's lied to me twice this game so far. Good day, he says, nervously smiling. I mean, of course it is quite a hard one. Well, your father, has left you something. But it is against the rules. Those who are convicted of treason are not allowed to possess anything. You suddenly look at his face. No, excuse me, guys. It's really early in the morning. You suddenly look at his face. A simple freckled with a wide nose, scar line along the ear, and round naive eyes with red eyelashes. He has no idea how close he is to the line, crossing which he will never be able to feel the same. He reaches out with his hand for money. Why am I giving him money if my dad left me something? I'm not giving him my money. What the fuck? That's my money, bro. What is this? What is all of this? Sociopathy and humanity, monarchy, revolution, rationalism, mysticism, chaos. The world has slightly shifted. You are being detached, observing your own actions with curiosity and knowing in advance what's about to happen. People rarely give you things, but you know very well how to take them. You grab his hands and squeeze. You hear this young man's bones crack underneath your fingers. Let's keep watching how he falls on his knees, how his face pales, his mouth twitches. You cover his whole face with your hand so no one can escape his lips. Wait, am I killing this dude? You slowly roll his hand in yours, fracturing his tiny bones with your strong fingers. The world shifts back so you can relax your arms, letting your limp body fall into the dirt. As he slowly, but still too fast for his own good, regains consciousness, you reach down and take a weathered book and a dark jacket from his pocket. This is the father's diary. You leave hastily, leaving him down in the dirt to cradle the bleeding bag of bones that used to be his hand and no longer belongs to him. Sanity, -5, sociopathy, +1, father's diary added. Okay, let's go to inventory. Let's look at our... And I can't click on it. Okay. Let's go to description of the journal. Following the sound of trombones, you find yourself at the city square where it is impossible to take a breath due to the amount gathered there. You hear around rumbling of the excited, hungry crowd combined with the fits of shouts towards the convict. People are looking forward to the execution, already smelling the blood in the air. People avoid you as if you are marked with the indelible ugly stigma. Despise the traffic, people step away from you in disgust. You notice the guards pushing away the onlookers. They are making their way towards you. These ones have red feathers on their helmets, personal guards of the king. One of them points a spear at you as if you were some kind of dangerous animal and gloomingly tells you to follow him. Oh, I just wanted to see something again. The guards, you easily make it through the crowd on the platform set up in the middle of the square. It has tents erected to protect you from heat. Comfortable benches are placed on the royal officials and a light wooden throne for the king. Escorted by the guards, you make your way through the most famous people of the city. One of them turns to you and recoils back in disgust. Others, with the disgusted gestures, simply pick up the hems of their ceremonial dresses. You throw them a bone, and there will be no reason to be afraid of the sharp teeth, you hear parts of the conversation. They roar in rage until they sense a strong hand. Don't look down, don't show fear, and the beast will not touch you. Fear? Don't be ridiculous, your highness is as right as ever. Spill a bit of blood, and the plebs will hum and flipper. Servants step away as you see the throne. Assistant is already kneeling before it. I am so sorry, guys. Servants step away as you see the throne. Assistant is already kneeling before it. His rare gray hair are stuck back of his sweaty... His rare gray hair are stuck to the back of his sweaty from the unrest head. Sharp spears poke your sides, threatening to pierce the old leather of your jacket, and you kneel before the king. The king is neither young or attractive. He is not as tall as your father or strong as you. However, his shoulders seem wide because of the proud gesture and close, wise look of his eyes pierce right through you. He's wearing a heavy mantle with rich fur fringe, and the heat seems not to bother him at all, as if the sunlight is trembling over him as a second crown. For some time, you are being carefully observed as if a sharp hunting knife is cutting through your veins, separating meat from bones. Dang, that was pretty... You could just vision that. Suddenly, following a simple gesture, respectful silence reigns over the platform. It seems that everyone has went silent, and you can't distinguish if what you can hear is the sound of a roaring crowd or the thud of blood in your ears. Your family, young man, has served to our honorable ancestors for generations. Sadly, recent events have disturbed our tradition. The royal executioner has turned out to be a traitor. The crown requires a new executioner. According to tradition, you should become the next. However, by our mercy, we are ready to let go of this tradition and offer you a choice. Either to start your duty as an executioner tomorrow or to refuse your family's benefits. It is your choice, but you should answer now. Decide. Now, out of disrespect, but of a simple habit, you don't lower your head in front of the king, and you notice how red his smile is. Within the smooth and beautiful speech of the king, you feel something red and black, like a rotting wounds or words about the choice. I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like if I refuse... Alright, maybe if I take the axe, I can just kill the king. I can just kill the king. Then we'll be on our way. Your Majesty, all my life I knew that this day would come, and I will serve you in position which you so kindly offer me. I'm proud that you offer me such an honor. After hearing your answer... Oh, I'm tired, bro. Why am I so tired? After hearing your answer, Assistant becomes grim as if he was hoping you would refuse to become the royal executioner. This is the loyalty talking, the king says. And so, even if you are the true son of your father, nobody should be allowed to call you son of a traitor. This time he is telling the truth. Your mouth feels luscious as if you had a sip of water sweetened with honey. The feeling made everything even worse. However, the king continues, we understand the exclusiveness of today's situation and will let you make another choice. You will take the position of the royal executioner, but you have the right to start your duties tomorrow. But the execution is scheduled for today, so someone else will have to take the axe to their heads. Those words smell of the first winter snow, the time you are really given a choice. Of course, king doesn't want to order his new executioner to make a patricide. Your Majesty, you hear the croaking voice of the assistant. I'm ready to offer my services. He is old and weak, you think, and it darkens before your eyes from the screams of the onlookers. Your arms and legs feel as you are frozen, so numb they become. The assistant isn't able to chop off the head with the first swing. His body weakness will turn execution into an additional torture. I'm not going to kill my father. I know what's going to happen. My father will be gone lightly with the last gesture of respect by his son and apprentice. Now the king looks at you favorably and traditions are honored. He isn't going to be responsible for the hard decision to execute your father. The assistant whines discontentedly, and suddenly you feel better with your choice. Maybe your father doesn't want this misfortune fate for you, but you can't just let him die in the mad old man's hands. For some reason, I got like 10 hours of sleep, but I'm still completely tired, so I'm like, trying my best here, guys. Trying my best. You desperately try to avoid becoming your own father's killer, but if you refuse to do it, the assistant will have to take the responsibility. You have seen him in action and know that he is too old and weak for the task. The executioner will turn out to be dirty and painful. You walk to the middle of the scaffold holding the axe with all your might, and you are trying to catch your father's look. But he is standing, bending his head, and does not look at you. On the other hand, from underneath the scaffold, you can see the endless sea of eyes and the crowd staring at you. When you were a kid, you had a dream. Your father took you to the forest and left the meadow. You remember the creepy feeling of horror when a bright circle of burning eyes suddenly appeared around you from every bush, tree, and stone. Remember eyes being all around you, hunger and evil, maybe the trees of the wolf pack, it may be a single, indescribably horrifying ancient beast. Added title, Parasite, is Sanity 5. Dang, bro, I'm going crazy. Mental armor, what? You killed your... What, I killed him? What? No, bro. You're supposed to kill the king, dude. Now you feel like that old self again. The crowd stares hungry and greedy. It is same as stare of the wolf's eyes from that dream. Last words of the convicted, you say with the voice you can't recognize yourself. Your father shakes his head, and the assistant pushes him to the execution desk. You lift the axe over the pale neck. Your father nods proudly, as he always done when you perform an action well. His lips slowly open, and through the roar of the crowd, you hear him whispers, "Beast." One precise swing of the axe, and the head rolls away. A body and all the personal belongings of an executed person belong to the executioner, and you hang onto that thought not to drown in the void. You take a step forward and lift the head. This is another ancient tradition, and the executor should see how the crowd takes his death. The crowd roars jubilantly. Screams make you lose the balance, backing out from the edge of the scaffold. You suddenly meet your father's dead eyes. Too many wrong things happened in the last day. Dang, that sucks. But this is something special. You're being covered with a strange feeling, which is impossible to compare to anything. This is how you imagine your funeral when you were a kid. Smell of ash and wet earth, unfamiliar voice singing, but it's impossible to understand the words. Sound of clerks, players, wreck of the dead, but the song shines as heated metal. Then from somewhere far away, you hear the voice of your father. Wait, you hear the voice of your father. You have to feed the beast. And the world comes back. So you are standing holding the axe in one hand and the head in another. The platform for the royalty has slowly become empty. King is already nowhere to be seen. The crowd is slowly dissipating. Rain is falling on the scaffold and the city square around it. Cold drops are getting on your scruff, falling on your face, and washing away sweat and tears. Father's case? Damn. Alright, I feel kind of bad about that decision. I'm going to end the video right here. If the video does well, I would definitely upload the second part. I don't know, man. I kind of feel like I want to restart, because I was kind of assuming there would be more choices if I kind of grabbed the axe and killed him, but, oh, is that what he meant when he said you have to take the axe, and then it said he was lying? Oh, that means he didn't want me to kill him. I mean, obviously he didn't want me to kill him, but I thought I could do something, like, differently. That is really depressing. I will not lie. But, yeah, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. If this does well, I'll upload the ending to this game, but then I'll also try and do a walkthrough where I don't kill him. So, anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you did, and as always, until next time.